February 19th, 2019, and it's Katherine Skaggs here to do a Mythical Goddess Tarot reading on the energy of these moon and what we need to know. I've been asking what's most pertinent to us to access this energy and to take advantage of it. It's been really chaotic. I know a lot of people, including myself, who've been going through a tremendous amount of change. This doesn't always seem like it's invited, but it's necessary. So at the center of the spread, we have the Crone of Fire. And the Crone of Fire is this beautiful card reminding us that we're coming into this full moon as wise people, that there's a great deal of wisdom and transformation that's available to us right now, that we need to own that. No matter what fire we've been going through, it's time to come out of the ashes and to own our wisdom, our wise women, wise men, the ability to take flight up and above the difficulties we've been going through so that we can become a new person, a new pattern, a new way to be. This card is perfect with some of the work I was doing this weekend. I went deep into some shamanic journey work, and I got a real clear image that goes along with this about options and alternate realities, that it's really important to focus forward, to use the wisdom from the experiences and to fly high, to stay out of the fear, to stay out of the difficulties, and to know that it's time to move forward with clarity of mind and heart, to know that we're able to lift up into that higher reality. So this is who we are moving into this time. It's also, with this full moon, it's a time of revolution. It's time to take that creative self and to be honest with ourselves, to get real with who we are, what we really want, how to live life in fullness, to get rid of our inauthenticity into the places we think we have to do stuff, but we don't want to anymore. So this is telling us to be free, to be part of the revolution by listening to your true self and moving forward. So let's take this forward with this full moon energy and expand. The other piece that comes in as to who we are as we enter this full moon energy is fruition. This is a very grounded earth energy that's showing us that, again, it goes along with that wisdom. We have harvested a whole lot of good stuff. She has fruit on her head. She's abundant. She's taking this back to celebrate with her tribe. And that's the message for us as we move through the next few weeks into the next cycle, is to count our blessings. Look at the abundance of all that we have within us and all around us, who are the people, the things, the gifts that we have, and to own that and to take that in this revolutionary time and time of transmutation, so that we know that we've got everything we need to celebrate as we move into the new cycle and to access that moon energy. In the big picture, the overview of this full moon energy, we have the illusion card, which is a child all hunkered down, ready for the rains and the storm to come in. Yet there's only 10 drops of rain coming from this tiny little cloud in the sky, and the sun is bright. It's so bright it's casting a shadow. And because she hasn't turned toward the light, she's all immersed in the shadow and the fear of a grand storm. So this overview is telling me that we have very much got to focus toward the light, to be aware that we may cast shadows into the world because the light's so bright, that we're finally seeing the truth of our shadows. It's really important not to get caught up in them, but to shift our attention toward the light, to take that light in, to warm ourselves, to take our little raincoats off and put our umbrellas down, and to be immersed in full-on growth. So this is a card of warning, to know that through the next few weeks, the light's going to be so bright that it's going to be casting out your shadows, perhaps your fears, your demons, your old traumas. And it's going to be time for you to shed those shadows, to take their wisdom, heed warning, and make sure you're seeing clearly for what the situation is, and not get caught up in past and old awarenesses or traumas. So turn toward the light. The other piece next to that is if you will turn toward the light, we have the delight card. Through our creativity, there's going to be a lot of opportunity in this big picture of this full moon to be delighted, to be in the light, to be creative, to have fun. And that's if we move beyond the shadows, we immerse ourselves in the light, get on fire with your passion and inspiration. And you're going to find there's nothing but delight in all your experiences. Next to that illusion card of that child hunkered down, we see the Mother of Perception, which is an emotional card. It's a water suit. And she's reminding us also to be clear about what your perception is. Trust your intuition. Go into that lunar energy in your solar plexus, in that place of your heart that immerses in your feeling and knowing sense. And in your perception, you're going to want to make sure to really trust what your heart is and to move past old emotions. And trust what you're feeling. Trust your intuition. And get past those illusions so that you're clear that you're communicating from your subconscious and not just some old story. So we've got a lot in store, it looks like, this next month. Our challenges for the next full moon cycle. We've got the child of creativity in the center. And what I hear that she's telling us is it's important for us to move into our passion, move into our fire in our creative space. And it may seem challenging as we move through the old patterns to get to that place where we give ourselves permission to stop, to go play, to be creative, and to immerse ourselves in the power of that creative, curious soul part of ourselves. Make sure that this lesson of life is to actually stop and to pull out your crayons, pull out your paints, pull out whatever stirs you into your passion and your creative soul self. Because you'll come out on top if you will work on accessing that. The other piece that you're going to need to be clear on in the next few weeks with this full moon energy is to have good boundaries. Be clear about the space you take, about your habits of self-care, of doing spiritual exercises, of taking walks in nature, of knowing who you are versus who you're sitting next to through your partnerships, your friendships, and even just the person on the bus next to you. Take good hygiene emotionally, physically, spiritually to help you through the next month. You may have more than a few lessons coming up to be able to speak your truth and to own your power and to move forward in good relationships, good partnerships. With that, in our lessons or challenges with this full moon energy is to stay in balance between your mental, emotional selves and your earthly self. How do you balance and take time for yourself? Right now, I'm working on self-care practices where I've actually put a schedule for myself to stop every hour, every 2 hours, to take care of myself, to be still, to go sit, to eat good food, to go to bed on time. Sounds a little crazy, but I have a habit of full blast, moving on, creating, having a great time, then falling in bed. So I'm working on my self-discipline, my spiritual practices, and my everyday practices to have a more balanced schedule. Look at that for yourselves this next month because the energy may be so powerful, it's going to move you out of balance. All right. Those are your lessons for this full moon energy and some of the energy around what your activity is for this full moon. It's time to complete projects. Get things behind you. Wrap up, clean in the closet. Wrap up situations that seem to have been hanging on. We're going to get the opportunity to access this energy to make some really good completions. As you clean up situations that have been left undone. So it can give you an opportunity to reset your energy and to reset for the springtime that's coming so new projects can come to you. If you leave a lot of things undone, it gets overwhelming and then there's no room for anything new. So do what you can to use this energy and that fire to finish some things and make room for new stuff. Going along with that fire, we've got a ton of fire in this reading. It's kind of crazy. We have the centering card. And in the centering card, we have the painting is called Dreamweaver that we adapted for this card. And she is here showing us that we need to take time to meditate. We need to take time to sit with our heart's desires and put light into them, into our bodies, into a reset time. And from that centering, it'll help us complete and it'll help us prepare for a new cycle. The other piece is Maiden of Clarity. And she's a mental suit card who's asking us through that centering that we get really clear what we desire, what we want to complete, what we want to bring in anew. What do we need to give to ourselves, to feed to ourselves? What do we need to stop doing as well as bring into our lives? So it's time to practice focus and concentration to assist you in stopping the mental chaos and actually focusing your energy like a laser so that you can hit the target and create what you desire in your life. All right. If we work with these powers that be with our moon cycle, we're going to find ourselves dancing. We've got the expression card, the dance card. This full moon opportunity brings the light of pure expression to us, where we go through a revolution and we transmute and transform ourselves and we catch the fire of our passion and we're full on dancing and celebrating our lives. I kind of like that. I would love to take that in. On the other side, we have forgiveness. So through this time period, this full moon, it's going to give us the opportunity to let go and forgive transgressions perhaps that we've had ourselves or that we felt toward others. It's time for a clean slate. By the time we move through this energy, if we're working the energy, we're going to feel cleaned up in our heart spaces, moving back into our sacred hearts. I feel like the one who actually gives to new life through forgiveness. Change our relationships if we can practice compassion and forgiveness for ourselves and others. All right, passion. This is the center card in the outcome. She's telling me that this reset, this full moon energy is helping bring us full on in our passion, our compassion, our inspiration, our ability to create with the fire in our bellies, as well as a full heart. It's time to come home to that heart energy and that passion for life. This journey I said I did this weekend showed me it was time to choose life more clearly, more passionately, more fully from my heart. So I hope that gives you some guidance and clarity for the month and actually for this moon cycle, and that you find many blessings.